Hello and welcome, our blood viewers, to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we'll begin tonight's news with the major and top highlights of tonight. Let's follow. Meeting of the FIEP Technical Commission on New Technologies and Logistics. And on the international scene, Algeria and Italy want to strengthen their energy cooperation. Those were the major and top highlights. We'll come back to our newsroom, our blood viewers. In accordance with Article 12 and 21 of the Rules of Procedure of the National Assembly, the Conference of Presidents led by President Mohamed Ali Hamad met this Tuesday, January 24th, 2023, to ratify the transmission of texts pending for consideration by the Standing Committee and to set the data of plenary sessions at which the bills already considered will be debated and voted. The government was represented by the Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed. The audience was composed of the Second Vice President, the Secretary Quaestor of the National Assembly, the Chairman and Chairman of Standing Committees, the President of Parliamentary Groups, and the General Reporter of the Budget. A total of 5 draft norms were transmitted and for study for the Foreign Affairs Committee and the Finance Committee. Finally, the Conference of Presidents agreed that the 5th public session would be held on Sunday, January 29th of 2023. Under the chairmanship of the Honorable Abdurrahman Awale Yassin, the members of the Permanent Committee on Foreign Affairs met this Tuesday, January 24th, to examine the following bills. Bill number 195/N/23/8th L on the ratification of the loan agreement between the Republic of Djibouti and the Islamic Development Bank. Bill number 196/N/23/8th L on the ratification of the loan agreement between the Republic of Djibouti and the World Bank. The meeting of the committee was attended by the Minister of Economy and Finance in charge of Industry, Mr. Ilyas Moussa Dawale, accompanied by the Director of Arilos, Mr. Abdurrahman Ali. At the end of the rich and instructive exchange, the Foreign Affairs Committee voted in favor of the ratifications. The Djiboutian parliamentary delegation participated in the work of the third session of the Arab Parliament, which was held at the headquarters of the League of Arab States in Cairo with the participation of parliamentarians from Arab countries. Our country was represented by several parliamentarians, including the young deputy Ali Zaid Shadili. During his speech, and he expressed his thanks to the President of the Arab Parliament, Mr. Adel bin Abdurrahman Al Soumi, for his recent visit to the Republic of Djibouti in order to give to the President of the Republic the highest distinction awarded by the Arab Parliament. The deputy Ali Zaid Shadili pointed out the importance of the strategic location of the Republic of Djibouti, situated on one of the most important maritime axes of the world trade with the Strait of Bab el-Mandab. The Member Parliament urged the Arab investors to visit the Republic to discover the investment opportunities, the attractive and even encouraging business climate, and the various facilities offered to those who wish to implement giant investment projects are the major assets to attract investors. The organization of the Gendarmerie of the European countries sharing the Mediterranean since 2018 volunteered to take up a major challenge by hosting the organizing an international commission focused on sharing experiences and expertise on the theme of new technology and logistics. To mark this historical event, the Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie Commander Luis Esteban Yaruzu, representing the Director General of the Spanish Civil Guard, held on an opening speech at the People's Palace of the said International Commission. In his speech, the Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie began by greeting all participants, members of the Association FIEP, wishing them the best for this new year and welcome to the Republic of Djibouti. The members of the FIEP organization include France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Djibouti, Qatar, Kuwait, Palestine, Senegal, Morocco, Tunisia, Turkey, the Netherlands, Romania, Jordan, Brazil, Argentina, and finally Chile. The Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie then mentioned in his speech the stakes on security, the multidimensional conflicts, and the permanent threats via modern technology which thrives and maintains the fear of our fellow citizens. But the Gendarmerie works tirelessly to prevent, alert, and reassure the population of emerging threats.
حقيقة دارنا دارنكم إذا يسنى بشدو يسكتوا بنا وكان شو دعاء سنة وكان شو شرعيكو كتجي دستور كل نظام سنة وكان شو دعاء سنة
Commander Luis Esteban Rose, representative of the Director General of the Civil Guard, in his speech thanked Zakaria Hassan Aden for having honored this session with his presence. Let's listen to him.
The present NTL Commission, under the central topic of this presidency, impact of a regional conflict on public security within the field of competence of gendarmerie-type forces, will help our association to achieve the objectives to be delivered this year, as we will be able to enhance the multilateralism and links between our forces, especially in this era of uncertainty and instability, by acquiring from a very front line a deep knowledge and situation awareness about the incoming threats and environment. As we all know, Djibouti is located in one of the key geopolitical spaces in the world, where the main global powers are focusing their efforts to take strategic advances, which requires the Djiboutian authorities to provide an appropriate standard of security and safety for their citizens and protect their interests. In this regard, this event represents a singular opportunity to understand how a regional crisis or conflict may impact on the tasks and responsibilities to be carried out by a police force with a military status.
Speaking in turn, the Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden, thanked the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, for having allowed the organization of this major event and his confidence in our institution. After the official speeches, the Commission has immediately started the technical work on the themes of the day, namely the new technologies and logistics. These technical works of the FIB gathered many talents in order to lead to the elaboration of effective and concrete action plans, which will undoubtedly allow the respective nations to face together the common challenges which they are all confronted with. The awareness campaign on the harmful effects of the internet launched by the Ministry of Women and Family in collaboration with all the secretarial ministers is in full swing. Indeed, after having targeted students and teachers of schools in the first time, it is now the turn of parents and young people of the different popular districts of the capital to benefit from the activities of this campaign. According to the organizers, the main objective of these meetings is to inform the civilian population about the risks and harms of cyberspace, in other words, all fixed or mobile devices connected to the global network. Certainly, thanks to its many resources and studies put online, the internet is today an interesting educational tool, but it is also a dangerous tool for our youth and especially for children and adolescents. According to the MFS leaders, the said campaign is therefore conducted in order to face in all the dangers which threaten and undermine the norms and socio-cultural values of our population, and even worse, our religious values. In the same context, this morning, Fukuwaza School and the CDC of Sheikh Musa objective to raise awareness of young people who were not even aware of what happened or what happens on social networks. It was to organize sessions to highlight clear and reassuring information on the issues surrounding cyberspace, while providing concrete tools to make it a space where children can be safe. This team, being transversal, brought together in all the secretarial ministries and designative, the speakers from the different ministerials made a common front to bring to the greatest number of young people all over the territory on the danger of the internet, the social networks. These awareness sessions will continue in the community development centers of the capitals for parents and members of associations on the dangers of the internet. It is important to note today that the issue of youth and the internet has become a real public health issue. In this perspective, the government has decided to make it a priority action in its agenda. Under the auspice of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Economy and Innovation, was held yesterday at the Kile, a preparatory event for Djibouti Digital Innovation Strategy. The main objective of this activity is to support the government of Djibouti in designing a national digital innovation strategy that aims to support the establishment of an enabling environment for growth and competitiveness driven by digital innovation. The event began with representatives from the World Bank sharing their insights on the potential impact of digital innovation on economic growth and competitiveness, as well as the importance of supporting the development of a national strategy to enable this growth. The event also featured presentations from private and public partners who shared their experiences and best practices in promoting digital innovation. The consulting firm also presented its findings and recommendations for the development of the national strategy. Event participants had the opportunity to engage in interactive discussions and provide feedback on the proposed strategy. At the end of the event, the Secretary General thanked all participants for their valuable contributions and reiterated the government's commitment to implement the strategy support in digital innovation in the country. The launch of the National Innovation Strategy will support our country in the steered development in an environment conducive to a dynamic digital economy and improve the competitiveness of the private sector in general through the adoption of digital technologies and digital financial services. This Sunday, January 22nd, 2022, the association Karma Karan went to the preside of the inhabitants of the Daguerre locality in the sub-prefecture of Yubuki as part of the charitable activities in the Daguerre region. Indeed, this locality was severely affected this summer by the drought where the inhabitants lost a large part of the livestock which constitutes their only income resource. Faced with the emergency, the Karma Karan Association, chaired by Ali Halaf Muhammad, has sent substantial food, aid, and warm clothing to the inhabitants. After Karta, this village is the second stage of humanitarian operations started since the beginning of the new year 2023 in the Association Karma Karan and its members in the localities of Djibouti Ethiopian corridor. Thanks to the support of the charitable organizations, the school children of the village elementary school also benefited from a significant donation of warm clothes, school supply kits, solar lamps, mosquito nets, as well as sanitary and hygienic materials handed over in person by Mr. Ali Halaf Muhammad to the director of the Daguerre Elementary School. True to its humanitarian vocation, the Karma Karan Association has set itself the mission for helping the inhabitants of all the localities, especially in the most remote and isolated ones in the Dakhel region. After the stage of Ali Sibih and the teams of the Ministry of Health led by Dr. Isa Abdi Bokorre, an ophthalmic surgeon, was set foot at the CMH of the region where they provided eye care including cataract energy and surgery. In an effort to bring healthcare closer to the population, the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the Islamic Development Bank, which is also known in short as IDB, performed operations for more than 100 patients from all localities in the regions. The prefect of the region, Mr. Aden, and the doctor of the region did not fail to welcome this commendable action for the benefit of the population of the region. It should be remembered that cataract is a condition that causes blindness, and the only remedy is surgery. Finally, similar activities to fight against blindness will continue in the northern regions next week. On Monday, 23rd January 2023, the Djiboutian Coast Guard set up an assistance operation for a fishing dhow in distress following a water let-off of Khor Ambado. Indeed, a water leakage freshly submerged the dhow and affected its engine and its water pumping systems, which made the dhow run the risk of sinking. The intervention of the Djibouti Coast Guard teams was beneficial in saving the crew and the dhow from a tragic outcome of total sinking. The dhow was towed to the fishing port, and the Djibouti Coast Guard has been closely monitoring the situation to ensure a safe arrival of the dhow and its crew. The Djibouti Coast Guard reminds sea users to contact the toll-free number 1500 in case of any distress situations at the sea. News, the PK 51 Customs Brigade, in collaboration with the National Gendarmerie, seized yesterday a large quantity of smuggled khat from Ethiopia. This seizure operation was led by the head of the Arta Customs Division, Mr. Yahya Musa Ege. About 33 packages of khat were seized on board of a Sino truck come from Malaysia by Sandfill, each containing 100 packages of khat, which has a value of 2 million Djiboutian francs. During this operation, the head of the Customs Division, Mr. Yahya Musa Ege, thanked on behalf of the Director General of Customs, all the agents of the Customs and the Gendarmerie who contributed enormously to the fight against any kind of illicit traffic of goods and merchandise that may harm the economy of the country. Shifting towards the regional scene now, Somali security forces have successfully stopped an attack by a group of Al-Shabaab terrorist militias targeting the administration headquarters in Banadir, Mogadishu region. The RTD correspondent quoted Somali security forces spokesman Sadiq Adan as saying that the operation resulted in the death of 6 Al-Shabaab members, while 6 civilians were reportedly killed. The Somali Security Forces spokesman also stressed that the security forces were vigilant and they managed to thwart the terrorist attempt against the Mogadishu municipal headquarters, noting that the injured were taken to hospitals for treatment. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, our beloved viewers. Italy is deepening ties with Algeria through a series of memorandums signed Monday during a 2-day visit by Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. Algeria has already become the country's main supplier of natural gas, and Italy seeks alternatives to Russian gas since its invasion of Russia last February. The arrangements underscore Italy's ambition to become an energy hub of Europe based on imports from Africa, with a focus on North Africa and Algeria, dubbed the Mati Plan after the former CEO of Italian energy economy Eni, Enrico Mattei. Well, by this, our beloved viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you once again for joining us.